There's something nobody told you about manifestation, something that makes all the difference yet almost everyone misses. It's this. The moment you want something, you begin to push it away. Not because desire is bad, not because the universe is punishing you, but because wanting in vibrational terms is a signal of separation. It tells the quantum field, this reality is not mine. It emits a frequency of lack, and the field being perfectly coherent mirrors that frequency back to you. You might be visualizing your dream life, speaking affirmations, even feeling inspired. But if your energy is still rooted in desire, if the internal signal is I don't have it yet, then the field hears that as your truth, and that's exactly what it continues to reflect, the experience of not having. This is the invisible trap that keeps so many stuck. They're not failing to manifest because they're doing something wrong. They're failing because they're still vibrating from the place of wanting rather than being. Wanting is subtle. It hides in your goals, your affirmations, even your prayers. You say you want love, you say you want abundance, but the energy behind those words often screams it's missing. And so the field which responds not to your words, but to your vibration gives you more of that signal. Now here's the shift, and it changes everything. The quantum field doesn't need your desire. It needs your coherence. It needs your alignment with the version of you who already lives the life you're trying to call in. And that version of you does not want. That version of you has. So how do you bridge the gap? Let's break this down in quantum terms. The field is a sea of infinite probabilities. Every version of you, the one who's struggling, the one who's thriving, the one who's deeply aligned, already exists. These are not fantasies. They are frequencies. And the observer, you collapses one of those probabilities into reality based on the signal you emit. When you say, I want to be confident, the field hears, I'm not confident. When you say I want more money, the field hears I am lacking. Your desire, however noble, is encoded with absence, and that encoding becomes your energetic signature. This is why so many spiritual teachers and quantum thinkers from Neville Goddard to Joe Dispenza emphasize feeling the wish fulfilled. Not hopping, not wishing, but being the version of yourself who already lives in that reality. Because only then does the field respond with the evidence you've been waiting for. Let's be clear, this isn't about pretending. It's not about faking confidence or acting like you don't care. It's about shifting the place you operate from. You're no longer moving toward the thing. You're moving as the version of you who already has it. And that distinction, that vibrational posture is everything. When you stop wanting, you stop emitting the signal of absence. You stop reinforcing the story of not enough, and you begin transmitting a new frequency, presence, certainty, embodiment. That's when reality begins to bend. That's when manifestations start showing up, not as sudden miracles, but as natural reflections of your new state of being. In the next part, we'll explore why wanting, even in its most spiritual disguise, still keeps you locked in the old timeline. And we'll begin to dismantle the subtle ways desire disguises itself as alignment. Because when you understand what's really happening vibrationally, you'll stop chasing, you'll start choosing, and the field will follow. So now you know that wanting creates separation. But here's the part that's even more subtle and even more important. The energy of wanting often disguises itself as ambition, as clarity, even as spiritual alignment. But vibrationally, it's still rooted in lack. It still tells the field, I'm not there yet. Let's be honest, most of us were trained to want. Society taught us that wanting is the first step to achievement. Set goals, stay hungry, keep chasing the next thing. But in the quantum world, this approach is fundamentally flawed. Why? Because the quantum field does not respond to your goals. It responds to your state. Your vibrational identity, and your identity moment by moment is either broadcasting I have it or I lack it. There's no in-between. Wanting is an energetic loop. The more you want, the more you reinforce the idea that what you desire is separate from you, and that keeps it suspended in the field just out of reach. It's like tuning a radio to 88.5 FM and expecting to hear the music playing on 106.7. You can wish, you can pray, you can scream your intentions into the sky, but the signal won't match because the frequency isn't aligned. Here's where science meets spirit. In quantum mechanics, there's a concept known as superposition. It tells us that all possible states of a system exist simultaneously until an observer collapses one of them into reality. This means that every version of your life already exists in the field. The wealthy you, the loved you, the confident, peaceful, radiant you, they're all there waiting. But which version becomes real is determined by your observation and, more importantly, by your emotionally charged perception. If you keep observing your life through the lens of "I don't have it yet," you keep collapsing the timeline where you don't. This is why people say nothing ever changes. Not because the possibilities aren't there, but because the observer hasn't shifted. Wanting also activates survival energy. Think about it. When you want something badly, what does your body feel? Tension, contraction, pressure. Those are incoherent states. They signal your nervous system that you're unsafe and your field becomes fragmented. But when you enter the frequency of having, even if it's just in your imagination, your body relaxes, your breath slows, your heart opens. That's the moment your field becomes coherent, and that's when manifestation truly begins. Let's break this down into lived experience. You might be saying affirmations like, "I want to attract love," but underneath there's an emotional residue of loneliness, and that loneliness is the real signal. Or maybe you're visualizing financial freedom, but your dominant emotional state is fear. That fear is what the field organizes around. It's not punishing you, it's mirroring you because it's intelligent, it's precise, it's a perfect feedback loop of your frequency. And here's the kicker. You can't out-affirm or out-visualize a frequency that's rooted in lack. You can't override the field with surface-level practices. You have to shift the baseline, the felt experience of being the version of you who already lives that reality. This is where many people get stuck. They think, if I let go of wanting, won't I lose my drive? Won't I stop growing? But that's a fear born from ego, not essence. Your higher self doesn't operate from lack. It operates from knowing, and knowing is far more powerful than wanting. When you shift from "I want" to "I already have," your actions become cleaner, your decisions become more intuitive. You're no longer pushing or forcing, you're magnetizing, you're choosing from alignment, not from lack. And that's when everything accelerates, because you've become a clear signal in a noisy field. In the next part, we'll explore exactly how to make this shift, how to move from wanting to being using a simple daily practice that activates coherence in your body, clarity in your mind, and alignment in your field. Because this isn't about pretending, it's about tuning. And when the signal changes, so does the world around you. So how do you actually do it? How do you shift from "I want" to "I already have"? How do you embody a state of being that your five senses might still deny? The answer is both simple and radical. You train your body to believe what your mind cannot yet see. You anchor a new vibrational reality through coherence. Not through thought, but through experience. Because the field responds not to your affirmations, but to your emotional state. And the fastest way to change that state is through your physiology. Let's begin with breath. Breath is the bridge. It's the most direct way to shift your electromagnetic field. When you breathe shallow and fast, you activate survival. Your signal becomes chaotic, focused on threats and lack. But when you breathe deep and slow, especially into your heart, you create measurable state of coherence. Your brain waves slow down, your heart rhythm synchronizes, your body enters a state of receiver-hip. And in that space, the new signal begins to broadcast. Start your morning like this. Before you open your phone, before you check your to-do list, sit quietly, place one hand over your heart, breathe in slowly for 5 seconds, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Repeat this for at least 3 minutes. As you breathe, gently bring into your awareness the version of you who already has what you've been wanting. Don't think about them, feel them. Imagine how they move, how they breathe, what emotions live in their body, what decisions they make. Let that version of you become vivid, not in your mind, but in your nervous system. Then ask yourself, what does it feel like to already have it? Not what does it look like, what does it feel like? Is it peace? Is it confidence? Is it joy? Let that emotion rise. Even if it feels subtle or artificial at first, your job isn't to perform it. Your job is to generate it, to practice it, to let your body rehearse that new signal over and over until it becomes familiar. Because what's familiar to your body becomes reality to your field. This is how you reverse the loop. This is how you teach your system to stop waiting for evidence and start becoming the evidence. You're no longer reacting to the external world. You're informing it. You're collapsing the version of you that needed proof and stepping into the identity that broadcasts certainty. And don't worry if it doesn't feel